Okay, good morning everyone. Today we're going to go over a presentation that I've created for school. I'm very nervous for whatever reason to present this, so we're going to just jump right into it, and I'm not even going to explain, you're just going to listen, and maybe by the time I do this for school it'll come out a little bit smoother. I really like this therapy. I think it's better used in combination with other therapies. Psychoanalysis and everything in between is what I mean. It's ever expanding, so this is just a little peek into the world of therapies and what you can kind of do to switch your mind space. So we're just gonna jump right into the presentation. It's not gonna be super long, but I do a lot of talking, so keep your ears perked up, maybe grab a tea, and yeah, just relax and let's get this started. So first thing, humans love to question. So some typical questions might be, how did this start? When will it end? Why did she love him and not me? Will I grow forever? If I swallow this seed, will a melon grow in my belly? The human divine has been hypothesized since the dawn of time, but one thing remains still to this day. We are still searching. People who are of the healing arts are observers. We find interest and a natural pull to understand and demystify the patterns of life. What drives a positive, loving connection? How our choices lead us down a path of widening roads or scenic sights. Why we do the things that we do. And how we can observe better or deeper. I'm just going to take a sip. I'm getting over a cold also, so just leave me be. So, tapping into our mind, body, and spirit. With all this seek to find, there is a new frontier we're tapping into. With depth so vast, the ability to discover 100% of it will take a lifetime. Sometimes in those who experience overwhelming anxiety or crippling depression, the thought of not completing something before an expiry date feels immediately unsatisfactory. The chances of completion or even attempts at beginning can often cease to exist, if not only in their minds. With eyes that observe from outside the body, human beings have especially creative makeup. The growing competition for attention decreases one's ability to connect truly to the things we desire most for our own satisfaction. Fulfillment through artificial stimulation feels oddly more satisfying than putting the effort in to achieve these things naturally. While there's nothing wrong with consuming what you need, overconsumption and stimulation to the human divine becomes a breeding ground for ailments, which can range from minor distortions or life-altering implications, such as disconnection from relationships, to neurological changes in the cognition. Same. So, reality therapy. Reality therapy is based on choice theory and focuses on improving present relationships, almost always disregards past relationships, and depends for its success on creating a good relationship between the client and counselor. So William Glaser is the founder of reality therapy and the voice of it. I really love this man. I think that his heart's in the right place when he's talking about this. But again, take everything with a little bit of grain of salt and use your own discretion when listening. So from choice theory perspective, essentially all our behaviors are chosen. This theory helps us make sense of the self and others' behavior. William Glaser emphasizes the concept of living in the now. The more we insist or attempt to have control over anything but ourselves, this is when error manifests. So theory of attachment proposes that all behavior is learnt rather than innate biological behavior, as children are born as blank slates. These theories, although separate, share the understanding that all behavior is learned and adapted through our experiences. So This is Glazer's behavioral card. It's going to explain what I'm about to talk about. So the 4 wheels on the card describe a person's total behavior. In order for the card to move, the 4 wheels have to move together. It is the same for a person to display any behavior. All 4 components are present and working simultaneously. So one of the 4 major components of Dr. Glazer's work is the concept of total behavior, made up of 4 elements. Behavior has the flexibility to coexist and to create an expression of the self. These elements include acting, feeling, thinking, and physiology. This presentation is going to focus on identifying the basic needs for human divine functioning. And when we neglect these aspects of ourself, the levels in our body become more drained of their energy. And the goal is to find healthy ways to bring these levels back up to balance and abundance in order to show up for yourself and share with others. So all these components are really important, especially in, when you're fulfilling these needs, it's allowing your behavior and the needs to kind of coexist and to be a lot more fluent with your alignment and who you truly want to be. So when we're, feeling one way, but then acting another way, there's a disimbalance there. So we need to bring, all of those together. So some signs and symptoms of unmet needs. Signs these needs aren't being met can include feelings of increased or abnormal anxiety, anger, irritability, spells of sadness or depression, manic symptoms, cognitive distortions, problems with relationships, and poor overall health. I didn't put sleep in there, but sleep definitely is one of the major ones that gets disturbed, and sleep is one of the most important needs, basic needs, which is kind of under the survival sorry, my throat which is under the survival need. Sleep is extremely, extremely important. So when you cultivate awareness within yourself, you should be able to tap into your senses and realize where an ailment is beginning to manifest. So this could be taking a deeper look into your life choices, your reactions, or anywhere in the body that may be calling for your attention. So this could be like a stiffness in the neck, sensitive eyes, a blocked throat, which all have specific meanings behind their pain. So the basic needs. This perspective identifies 5 basic needs for optimal human function. These are survival, freedom, fun, power, and love and belonging. And some studies indicate the need to involve 2 additional needs, being creativity or contribution, and self-transcendence or actualization. And I think that personally I would agree with that. So we're going to talk about each one, share some examples, or I'm going to talk about them, and share some examples and give professional advice and opinion on how to maintain balance in each area for children, youth, and adults, and just kind of explain how a counselor could approach this topic with their client. So beginning with love, and then also becoming part of a team is really important, in kids. So, sports, academics team, playing cards with grandma, it doesn't even matter. Stuff like that, make them feel a part of something. As we move into teen and adulthood, you're going to be more, looking to explore your own interests, finding your group of people, learning new things, spending time with loved ones, or choose a career that supports and advocates for your success. So, you feel that sense of loving and belonging through that. Always practice and validate your progressive steps towards this goal. So lots and lots of self-love, and of course teaching your children and teaching other little ones that are around you. Self-love is so, so important. Taking care of that. So some professional advice, cultivating a sense of love and belonging is not necessarily a naturally occurring practice in everyone's life. When beings are being born into families, the experiences they observe and make sense of shape the way they interact and create relationships later in life. Understanding how to receive love is just as important as the ability to give love. In humans that struggle to accept love or attach themselves to anything that gives sense of belonging, it can be taught through mirroring and major gestures. Learned everywhere when we know where to look. Mindfulness can be a very helpful tool when learning to look for positive examples of love. Personally, I would advise anyone who develops a distorted view on healthy love, seek education through courses, reading, meditation, mentorship, just definitely get some help in that area, just, to prevent any further adversity in your life and to, give back to yourself. You deserve it. So understanding love looks different to everyone. Some universal love signs can be pointed out everywhere you look. So, you're never alone. There's ants on the street. There's a breeze blowing in the leaves on the ground. There's, smells of fresh baking, hearing kids laughing as they're playing with each other or their imaginary friends. Love can be found in everything, and it's definitely a choice to expand the mindset to realize that its existence, basically. Okay, so moving on to survival. I kept this one really basic, just, there's a lot of things that we need for survival, but the basic necessities, everyone should have access to food, water, shelter, clothing, and, a connection to other human beings, even to animals. I've heard can have some success to it, but definitely that. And when you kind of move into an adult and when you're a teen, having that community really does, it brings more to your life. We're not supposed to, be alone or be in isolation. We're supposed to be together in communities and helping each other survive and taking care of one another. And I think that that's a survival need. And I really believe that everyone needs and deserves community. So some professional advice, additional needs for survival in families and relationships definitely involve creating a positive outlet, being able to validate feelings and hold space for others to explain their perspectives. So this is just creating that open community. If you don't have a big group of people and you only have your family, how can you deepen that survival need together? How can you deepen your relationships to, trust one another and, hold space for somebody so that when you need it, they'll hold space for you. And you never know when you're going to need it. So, always be practicing those things. Okay, so moving on to one of my personal faves, freedom. So children need the freedom to explore, make choices, be independent, express themselves through any art forms, have an understanding, and have an honest relationship with themselves. Spending lots of time in nature also, of course, and just having their own autonomy. When you move into teen and adulthood, this could look like developing your own personal values or morals, gaining a sense of independence, challenging self-limiting beliefs. So if you've been brought up a certain way and maybe you don't really agree with it or it just doesn't speak to you in the same ways that it used to, liberating yourself from the idea that you are restrained, because you're not. It's always a choice, and when you take back control into your life and you're leading with love and you're leading for the better benefit of you, these things will come, and it will come with such ease, and it will feel so good, I promise you. So just to tack on to that self-awareness. So having the awareness that you are free, that you are a free spirit, and you're only tied down so much as you let yourself. And it will take time to free yourself from those chains. It's, some people have been suppressed for their entire life, for 40 years, and, that's gonna take some time to unlearn some of these patterns. And if we can just hold space for each other and allow patience and allow time, then it's gonna work out so good for everyone. So some professional advice from that. So freedom comes in many different forms. There's physical freedom, emotional freedom, spiritual, financial, the list goes on. Sometimes we feel like we need a large field to run, dance, smile, and play in to feel free. And other times, it's just sitting with ourselves in meditation. It's important to check in with yourself in those moments. Notice those elements. The sensation of euphoric calm. Maybe smells that bring you warmth, or memories, and the physical sensations you're experiencing in your body. Understand how to hold yourself in balance between freedom and discipline, which takes practice of maintaining connection with the self and creating boundaries that align with your true nature as you develop through life. Right, so some fun when you're a child. Everything is fun. You can make dishes fun if you've got a good enough imagination. That was something me and my sister did. We would always sing songs or just, make each other laugh while we were doing chores. And it just made the time go by so much faster. And honestly, those memories are so much better in my brain. For teens and adults, this can look like getting involved with some clubs or some groups, of course, exploring your ambition with sports, further education, expressive arts, getting into hobbies, or trying some interactive games with children or family, taking road trips or just trips in general, dancing, creating relationships, or expanding your mind, listening to podcasts or different music. So there's so many different ways that we can implement fun in our day. I don't really need to do a presentation on it, but sometimes it's just nice to have those ideas. So there are so many ways that human beings seek out entertainment or just a great time that creates a good feeling. When we feel like that fun level is dropping, sometimes we try to overreach our limits by going back to subconscious behaviors. And I think we can all understand what I'm talking about. And these often guarantee us a good time, or maybe they used to. So a good thing to remember is living a life that gives you memories to help push through the tougher times, takes creative thinking and some effort. So calling up your girlfriends for a wild night out might have done the trick before, but cultivating new ways to find pleasure in life can be half the fun, such as picking up a new hobby that you can do at your own pace, or even just planting some gardens or, watering your flowers. Fun can come from everywhere, and the more that we create and the more that we learn about ourselves, the more fun that we can explore and have, right? So fun till Daddy takes the T-bird away. Okay, how old am I? Right, so stepping into your power. So this looks very sometimes daunting for parents, where they're like, well, how much power am I giving my kid? This is where the idea train is going to float in. So helping your child develop a dialogue with themselves is so beneficial to their health, to their development. When your child understands how to ask for help, how to be a friend, how to explain how they're feeling, you're giving them that power while helping them develop a dialogue for themselves. And it's going to carry them throughout life and definitely get them farther than not having your voice and not being able to step in that power. So definitely children, developing a dialogue, asking for help, learning about things, listening to things. Definitely teach your kids how to listen, how to practice. Practice is power. You are getting better. Your mind is becoming more powerful, more strong. Problem solving and action planning. Those are two really awesome things that can help your child or your students, or if you're, nannying, whatever. If something happens, ask them, what would you do? Let's make an action plan together. What would you do? What's your opinion? And get them to tell you. And don't shut it down. Don't try and, correct them or anything. Just let them be. And it really gives them that autonomy to explain themselves and just to, step into that power. So that's a really awesome thing to kind of keep on the back burner in your life. As a teen moving into adulthood, there can be a lot of different ways to step into your power. So one of my favorites is creative cooking. As someone who suffers with an eating disorder, I feel very powerless against food. Food is something that has, it has a weird hold on me. So creative cooking is something that I do. And so this is like cooking with color, mixing up textures, making sure it smells all kind of cool, plating it really well, and, fancy, and really doing the most, and cooking with love and cooking with excitement, and, just feeling that I have control over what's going on. You see? One moment. Actually, I need some water. So another really awesome one to step into power is switch up your old routines. If you've been in like fluent motion and it feels a little bit stagnant, just get out of that. Like, you're always going like this, and sometimes you can start going like this, or like this, or like, you don't have to, it doesn't have to be linear. We're humans. We can move and stretch and anytime we want, okay? We can always like be weird in the matrix. It doesn't mind. It's designed for us. And for us to take care of. Okay, so switch up old routines, get out of that stagnant energy, get yourself some new energy, new friends, try a new coffee shop, try a different morning routine, try a different nighttime routine, so many different possibilities. Dress your best, choosing bold colors. There's lots of color therapy going on. You can Google, wearing colors like red makes you feel more grounded, and blue can make you feel more powerful and stepping into your truth, stuff like that. So you can get really into, just dressing for yourself and feel good, style, step out and be like, yeah, I'm feeling good, looking good. Let's take on the day. So polar dips as well. So cold therapy, so therapeutic, so good for your nervous system. I have yet to practice it enough to even talk about it. But there's definitely lots of YouTube videos out there that just rave about the benefits and, boosting your immune system and just making you powerful. Truly. It makes you, just hyper incredible. I don't know. No other words to describe. Showing up authentically, declare your ambition, get really excited about your life and things that you want to do in it. Acknowledge your strengths. Even acknowledging weaknesses is a very powerful thing to do. You're always having that awareness. Believe in yourself and the power to do well. Believe in yourself. You deserve to do well. You are powerful. All right? So, a little bit of professional advice. When children move from infancy into self-actualized beings, this power shift comes into play. So instead of needing to be fed and dressed, they desire the autonomy to carry out these tasks on their own. With teens or young children, this shift allows them to step into this new sense of who they are, with the adaptation of responsibilities placed upon a person when they have achieved certain levels of growth. So parent-child relationships often struggle with this shift. It's important to be an example as a parent. Give respect and autonomy to the student in front of you. I believe by stepping into your own power, it opens opportunities to keep you fulfilled for a lifetime. So always listen, always learn, seek out things that, maybe you didn't think that you'd ever enjoy, but surprise yourself. That's taking your power back. That's having control. All right, so we only have the full power to control ourselves and limited control in others. This theory explains that we only have full power to control ourselves and limited in others. The ways we show up for people in our lives varies depending on the relationship or on the person. Generally, we want to show up in positive ways for others and for ourselves. So the modality illuminates the simple human function of making mentally healthy or unhealthy decisions. Glaser refers to healthy habits and harmful or deadly habits. These indicate the energy you're putting out towards relationships with others. These indicate the energy. So this is some examples of some healthy habits that are, giving you positive energy, and some examples of some unhealthy habits that, get that negative response back always. So these healthy habits include supporting, encouraging, listening, accepting, trusting, respecting, negotiating differences. Okay, so those are very healthy things to be doing. Some unhealthy habits: criticizing, blaming, complaining, nagging, threatening, punishing, bribing. Okay? So these are just some things that if you're getting those flags going, oh, I do a little bit of that, oh, not enough of that, notice that. Don't judge yourself, but maybe next time, try and catch yourself a little bit earlier and correct that behavior. How can I respond to that in a more positive way, right? So if you're experiencing some dis-ease or imbalance in your life, some good questions related to this theory could be, and noting to always direct the questions to the self. This is your life and the choice is always yours, no choice for others. Okay, so keeping that in mind, this is person-centered, always you. So good questions. Where do I feel things? Ask yourself, where do I feel things physically, mentally, spiritually, or emotionally? Make note and educate yourself on the ways that you can give yourself love and give love to each of those areas in your body that are experiencing, a drain of energy. Another one is, if I was in the other's shoes, how would I react to my response? And in what ways could I make the conversation more open? How can I tend to aspects of my life as an individual using my own sources of strength and knowledge? Right? So always tapping in. What can I do? What are my sources? What is my knowledge? How can I gain more knowledge for myself? This is very selfish, but it's very important to have a healthy, it's important to have a healthy relationship that, you can be a little bit selfish, but it's not spilling into others' day or into others' life. It's contained in you. And my last question, in what ways do I need extra help? Nothing. So as a therapist practicing choice theory, having a natural ear to pick up when someone is having maybe some negative behaviors in their life and it's disrupting their means to live a healthy and fulfilled life, and also where to promote that balance that they're doing and validate it and, give them that support. So a couple of things that are important to understand as a therapist are sharing parts of your life through self-disclosure. It's okay to show that you're human under that professional shell, and just, if you've experienced things with reality therapy in your own life, or have a situation where you had an outlook at one point and you've switched it, using those things are really awesome tools to just show that, hey, I'm human, I can do this, and I'm showing you that you're not alone. As well, pay attention to metaphors and the use of dialogue in stories. Children might also use characters to describe what they're talking about, so really pay attention for those things. Stay in the moment. Guide the client if they start to drift. Definitely talking can become very exhausting, so take notice when your client begins to drift or the body language shifts. These all create energy changes, and it's important to tune into this quality of yourself and use it to both benefit yourself and the client. So when you're sitting there and you can feel the weird energy, your client can also feel the energy. Identifying themes or patterns. Assist the client in understanding the narration of their wants, needs, or desires, positive and negative aspects which they serve or not, and uncover underlying factors of the benefits. So another one, identify themes or patterns. So assisting the client in understanding the narration of their wants, needs, or desires, understanding if it's aligning and if, the aspects of their behavior are serving them or not. And so uncovering any factors that are blocking them from getting to this goal or suppressing something that needs to come up. And lastly, allowing or imposing consequences. So this looks like setting goals boundaries and workable habits for the client, also involving identifying old patterns they need to diffuse, which takes practice and lots of patience. Some people do well with guidance, others may need a sense of anticipation or maybe a reward system. So sometimes in kids, having like a treat at the end or something like that. Remember, you're not there to cater to your client. Help them understand the limits and benefits of becoming a more disciplined human being as an individual. So, method. Lastly, no excuses. Do not accept excuses for irresponsible behavior. Is a little tiny irresponsible. For behavior that lashes out. It's not necessary. Point out to the student that they had a choice. If they made the wrong choice, don't punish or criticize or try and protect the student from reasonable consequences. So stick to your guns. That's what it's telling you. Stick to your guns. So again, this is like a kind of an old-timey method, but the structure is basically the same, and you can kind of adapt it to how it would work best for you. So while all modalities and theories have their place in the never-ending evolution that is psychoanalysis, reality therapy does have its limitations to understanding and differs from conventional methods in a few ways, such as limiting recognition of the power of the unconscious and that traumas become trapped in the body and they do need proper releasing. Thus, reality therapy serves as a beneficial companion to a collective approach to counseling. So some final thoughts. This is a mantra page that I wrote a couple years ago now, and I used to rehearse every day, every time I felt upset, just any time I needed to get a little bit more love flowing for myself. So I'll just read it. It says, I am love, I am light, I am thankful for my mind, I am thankful for my soul, I am thankful for my body. I am motivated to love, I am motivated to grow. I choose to be love. I choose to be light. I choose to show myself love. I choose to show others love. I give unconditional love to those I cannot reach. I give unconditional love to those I do not know. I know my body holds love. I know love spreads to all. I know myself. I love myself. I love others just as much. I will show my body love. I will give unconditional love to myself. So, final thoughts. Figure out your passion. Put an embarrassing amount of effort into evolving your style of creation. You must dig deep. Find what it takes to isolate yourself in the dysfunction and strive towards alignment with all the universe has to offer. No dream can be too big if you picture it in your mind, accumulating all thoughts towards your life. You have the answers inside of you, and it is your choice to unlock a personal power system that resides within. I truly believe that everyone can regain the skills and learn skills that were never taught and live a really awesome life true to their story. Everyone has a different story. No structured anything is going to work for everyone. It's going to be like a Frankenstein, type life probably all the time. But seek within yourself, show yourself love, show up for yourself. Don't be judgmental towards yourself if you can try. And in turn, others won't judge you. So I hope that you enjoyed this presentation. Thank you for staying. And yeah, we'll see you guys in the next video. Take good care. Bye.